All right, so this particular news is coming as a shock to a lot of people. And personally, now, I'm not shocked because the obeya was we subiano. There is a consequence. A brand TV or screens no so no. If you've been following what has been going on social media, especially after Asante Hema Neyina, and as even during Asante Hema Neyina, this guy, you know, was a winning air then and I say you may have seen him somewhere. Now, this is a notorious guy, the Twene Jonas, and a year said you if you want to put it in that right way. Or a bronye or mutina social media or moka say be a fawa ni edi watem no a brand is or person or copy the same thing. But unfortunately, you know, it sounds say if we are see we will be bibia na ojina bibi so no also person usua was so making sure so na esi bibi so a brand ya kwa ko dibone akoko kensem afo Otumfour amen na we are learning say he is dead. Now we'll give you the correlation as to what really happened. Maybe in 70 fever any baby I do in the first place. So for those of you among share and amunim the no during Asante Hema's burial, okay, Manhyia ede even before the burial, omo the other bar said no one should go out. See you could see a year Asante Hema a custom. One call out one day and yes, if I see you pa ultimi MP. Abranti, not only did he flaunt the rules and regulations, or buy out, essence will be the D Otumfour atem. Now the shocking thing is, oh yes, I never win no, na our Santi memu, no kumase or Manhyia. So what I say, ane na sena all ye no so na or chenko force apu minsro Otumfour for a wire into a front to the rules or something posted our TikTok. And therefore, the consequences that this man. Now, the reports are conflicting, but for those of you who share in some of Kaya a leady to this particular time, the contribution for Ababe Kasa, yes, we bought them, a bimuso on board them, a whole lot of issue. But share this particular video of what really triggered all of this. Yeah, Babaka, yeah, better us because in some now, it's if we were handling the AB3. Yes, it's a lot. At the end of the day, no, Papa no, Bibi or Danny dear, I can tell you, say it's no good at all.
No, a man from Oshim Curve on so hard. A man from Curve so they are a honam one. Mama, my brave for now, most of them answer and I chimney phone. Or Mumra, Menamanagia. You post your to Mrs. C. Mumra, some mobile Mugani Gana, Mumra. I see a four chimney phone.
So Abranti any kind, you see the foolish thing about what he did was obo baby or baby or nam and not say rules they say man go phone pin with pie and some post it to TikTok. We are Abrafour said be Otumfour power most they should enforce the law more like lawmakers and as a soldiers and a police for they protect the law. So in this case Abrafour no omu Otumfour police. Saying some more BMP, they will make sure that the people will what abide by those rules. Or say a Abrafour near as if or massive for you Jimmy for. Say Abrafour a be a professors, a be a bank managers, a be a businessmen, some are even multi-millionaire, a culture and a mudieti. Now, or can't say in every year now or send you to for atem. At the chin, in fact, within less than 24 hours, not a branch in the no. So the picture on the screens, no, it is him. But then question the video of what really transpired. Cause your bone per year, bonny a bone, yes, she no. And then we are learning the consequence, no. A camera ko say papa no ahwe ne kwen kwhwe video e baba ka e beto. Penifo say unsechi enya oda ehwa na otafre ane untimi nkofo obi a ne sechi ye de entafre abranti towards the end of the video oji one heavy one paye. Why? Because he wanted to go the Twene Jonas way. Twene Jonas or New York or Bagana Santifour will take him on. But what ya Santimemu Otumfour echi and I would dear attempt a threatening say Yudra Sebio Asante Hinia Jimmy Forno. Now you see in all of these issues I told you said there's news at Airba HS panel Sebio Shenin Kwan. Okay, that is reporter Airba. It is still not really verifiable if this news is actually correct. But then that is the news at Airba. Yen share a person who reported on this news. Apparently, Bimu Party say any papa and all this and same way to yen question video we ye babaka ye beto aso.
No say to ma te say Mustafa
Jimmy no Adea me Otumfour me Otumi wo Ashanti region so me Otumi wo Ashanti region so iti me ka obi abeda kwasiafo mini me nae momra
wonim ma me ka se mi chiro na wonim ma e koso wo wahini enum no de e koso wo wahini enum no nana ntwaye empo se Mustafa wadi watamu a ye mono emra o mainumu aden no mutimi bunukunu nana se nokrepa se Mustafa wu a nana antwaye mesi antwaye nana antwaye de kwaso wa hini enum no nana hweniye media de America kira wo ne se nyankopon ahye wani monyam o na wan heye bebi bedu animonyam no ebefiri wo nsa mesraw media me kan o me firi makoma mu na me gina na me ka za asem we a kire the unknown no one ka
Intino, according to this particular man, what to say, a brand here now, or can some kwasi asem no, odidi Otumfour atem no, your friend Mustafa, and what to say Mustafa. So he is angry and complaining. Say, a brand is no we be didi asante hinya atem. Na man for Eden brand be show munse mo be bu a brand here na amanebu. If that is true, then he's saying the law should work. Now, Papa no ono kra na some mission no make here. It makes a lot of sense. Why? Because he is talking, even though shit ni nima with ning. He spoke based on plea, respectfully. When the attempt, and then attempt the no ababaye a norm for the youth. 21, 22, 18, they get up, take camera, and insult people, and they think that they are doing something in this particular country. And it's so sad. So that is exactly what is really going on in regards with Abranti. Any news are airby, I say with free. Now, straight up to a year or two, 482, the palace again. What we are learning now is that in fact, now we gave you an update about Mahama, how he went a year about your friend said fighting galamsey. So we'll show a video now. We played a video right here on this particular platform on Nkrumah a call galamsey site and not omutu galamsey. Okwachi omu nyina easy omutus owie and osan so handle omu over to the Ghana Police Service. Now we are learning something something new in regards to this, because and some people were saying so Otumfour the doma hina ye enye pageantry ni ade he took action. For those of you amunyan share video no muhu de course no, in fact never went to screen. So this was emra doma hine and then Nkrumah no almost stormy various galamsey sites as you can see almost stormy hono omuko sizi equipment bebree what ya say almost sizi equipment no almost also eche galamsey operators no inti ene kese ama washa obehun se doma hine ono ena wo first picture no ono na wo ho no ane oni Nkrumah mkuta pump action gun, so that is it no ena wo ho. So in some way by no people have been saying say ban is saying na doma hine timi take action stop galamsey na Otumfour osetutu de up to now sabi oyehu de oye ho en Otumfour osetutu e de reply aba say you see the laws of Ghana no yes say ahemfo e wo tumi ba ahemfo eni tumi sa say a person on stop galamsey let us make the law clear. Say he Otumfour Asantehene has the right to stop galamsey. Let the laws be clear. By ye ma law ni nye clear. Na yes it law ni nyina eshe abansem. Ni ebe wie echi asan be didi na tem de on tiase. Because Nkrumah ye de Otumfour esetutu ye de nim aye form for a very long time. Ye de nim aye form for a very long time, and it seems like Otumfour esetutu he wants to say enough is enough. So in this particular video we will see Otumfour esetutu explaining what is really going on, and also sa insema enenam inframemu ye kan en Otumfour adena untimi ba ni galamsey a whole lot of things ochemu say he onyaya anka sa galamsey issue no no ena wotumi anka sabio etifo enye sabipo like galamsey no etubetwa in some few days, but then yaye embrane chinchini ye wie so ni abeka se Otumfour esetutu ontimi enye den ontimi protect the land. Ananum the Agyapong said on so share this particular video of what he said generating a lot of controversy on social media. Babaka yebetwaso
Cameron Drodu or a seasoned journalist be or try articles about newspaper. The article about America was say anyone was an anonymous need to me the best top of galamsey. Make in all kind. Say, and busy need to me at the best of make I know, make us say, no crash, so cast a wound need to media. As I said, no, who has to say, Bequine, wow, here's to say, a man boy, wow, here's to say, yes, hanging, I would not wrestle. Now, so will be a basu to galamsey, yana, prayer. At the end, they would need to me is okay. Abras on the quintas and a boy share no trouble, the others, I'm sure to Fontanka, as I said, what Obama's. And an went to it, yes, you come home, galamsey no. Why be was us to be our so come home? Sounds on it. Young, wow, a be was us to be I say if you be also come home, be young, require the Bessiano. That's it. Or Bowas us so no, but say, once you Nkrumah, you ever know, ye too. And the other. And was who create you menko break master somewhere. I said, and tank I said, Baba money. Son and also more money, and I'm in fair regimes as a fast soldier for quas in it. Nan my boy may come catch a union. No cranny next year was here who or he be a galamsey when I was here, friend Bubus as a dating what you are. I'm an abano here. Yabaninia mania or quacker. As I contra bow and or bow one of a boy man and a man who will sense you now. And yes, and I'll come home. Not to the down. So we are about her at the craft aperture so as I contract. Now, Manaquam or Cornwalk say, wounds you could say, assassin. Tell you only movie. And I'm young, I was here, me and the bread, and I buy, yes, we come home. And the Regiment said, that's Glamsey, no, the end, and pass a nan moves out there. Now, answer ye, Busay, say, answer dear near ye. The young, I was here who no choir, ye befast, as I said, I dear chrono. Bronica same environment, no, and they are Sabre, yes, a cop 27, Nipe to Quaco Egypt, no coca, and some sound a body near, you know. Sabre, yes, say, and Sassinians Union. They are Sawas one to Master Nananum, and Sassanos Yadia. ya ne de ahye nsa ene wa twe afra me so tu for dan na me nanan mu de agya me wo nanan na de asase ni gya wo na obi aba ho a wo sensuo no e de na aka wabɛkyia ofie de nsa bro discabro takunda ma wo de bro nti won sensuo no on say asase no na yesa de aban yesu yenye de ma aban hu se yesu yenye abrenti de o krata na ma obi ba ya asase no yemprem wo ma na za aban de tuo be ba be kuan wo me kuan mi hu na ene ya anya ne eto na ekotugo takunda ma ya bro sika kakra na Chinese for ne ba mo mahimfie ne de nsa na yi brem na mo gidia na uji se o man na wo nko awo yam na aye no o man no Oman no udi so no. No credit mo mienka na mfiri o. Ma bo he lawyer mo say accomplice of the fact. Ye nyina wo mo aka ho nyina aka ho. Ye galamsey regional minister aboso na abusa na yenso ye nanan mo yenso ye de ne de man say yenso ye ka ho bi yenso ye nsesa. Next year ye be ko ba bia galamsey wo bia wo hene wo ho. Adanse hene na wo ho am say adanse hene bredi na ato na galamsey wo asase. Padama minimum and the agent no din no but chema de kunti aba na yabusa na wachem na ehu yes I wonu so kwa ne onu so na ni bebre no so akọwe ama ti sa na wo se ye nti bejam za ye das papa pasen na wabetan che ha na ye bompa ese next year afifu from no ye be ma de road minister aba no so abecheche ekwan ye be fa so.
So that was in Sema Otumfour say to a kind very wise saying, sir. You see, each and every time Galamsey kwaswa ni etne yensa. But then we have to look at the root cause of the problem. In some thing, and abedu hasisia. Chinese ni intimi full plane, emfi Asia, emba Kotuka, emfi Accra, emba Ashanti region, embe too gold. Debi obi anyesa. Debi oko baby. Okohu obi man to me, obi man license, obi man go ahead no. Go no otu no cry Nkrumah be protecting why more. Yes, so we stand back and blame His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say Mahama na Emma Galamsey Ekoso. The question is if ahemfo amosha ensase no so no omo ama Chinese for ni tumi a na omo saso protect sa Chinese for no omo gigi ska. How can Mahama use military to come and stop them? Because military no the background na ahemfo any Nkrumah woman more Nkrumah no almost support the Chinese. So it's going to be the people against the Chinese man, against the government, because Chinese for no Galamsey Nkrumah for one and will be fighting a soldier for. A typical video you see and I know a soldier for course or Muko Galamsey site or Muko say look at what really did happen in Tokanya this year. Adia Nkrumah for a party say ye Gio Mejuma, ye Gio Mumba, Ejuma, Nejumi be any Nkrumah. Yes, so we stand back and say, Galamsey no more yen, Mahama fault because what's now and Shehain. And Otumfour is telling you, say, we need to look at ourselves in the mirror. They be American. Whenever you are blaming someone, maybe someone say, wow, blaming Ipano. Are you okay? Someone even if the person has done a mistake, ask yourself, say, where did you also go wrong? How did you contribute to the whole issue? And these are issues I was saying. You can't want them. So it's here for once again we are live. I'll comment Ebra because and then we have a lot of issues to talk about. Straight up, here call to the camp of Kennedy Agyapong, Japan. Kennedy Agyapong is one of the few who are more contested for the MPP flag bearer race come 31st of January 2026. Ken could win. Baumia could win. And then I posted a post be our Pinaxtv community, and we saw says so far almost 1,000 and I posted so far, and so far no 4,000 I voted so far. The vote was between Kennedy Agyapong Baumia. If Ken Elusu MPP no quite an independent, so you match him Ken Baumia a seeding Kitia. Why and I'll be voting man. So far, Kennedy Agyapong is leading with a 40%. Baumia is the last. A seeding Kitia is in the middle, so you can still go and vote. But then Ken face the MPP vetting committee. And you see, Ken has been touting some idea of Asian miracle. You see, history actually after the World War II, Japan, which was a developing nation, became a developed nation became a developing nation, which means no more sure see ano e ba say afi no more ekosro, because when they refused to surrender to Americans, America for dropping 2 atomic nuclear bombs on Japan, the 2 cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it destroyed everything. And based on that, some country, they retrogressed by some committee year. But then fast track after the World War II ended, Japan conceded, within the next 2 decades, 20 years, Japan became the second world largest economy. Best in everything. How did they do it? And Ken Epache say the theory of Asian miracle applied. Now, Ken has gone to face the vetting committee. DNC Ebra Okofesi the vetting committee in parliament. We have this particular video. Something also did happen when Ken had a summit with UPSC. But before then, exactly what really did happen, because this whole thing I was here.
Second time coming to such a vetting, was it any different from the first time you came?
No, not really. I was prepared. So I believe I answered all the questions. And they know I'm ready to be president of this country. Yeah.
What were your major takeaways from today's session?
So they really wanted to know why I want to be president and my vision for the country, as well as the party.
Okay.
So I enumerated a couple of points and how I'm going to address some problems. So basically that was the interview. They know I've been true and true party man for so long. So I didn't face any serious questions, or they didn't antagonize me because they know my potential already. But they asked tangible and reasonable, I would say reasonable questions. They were not hostile to me, and I was free to answer their questions.
I imagine you plan to use the Asian model to develop Ghana.
I said it there too. I told them and explained what I mean by Asian model. I've seen some proof. Let me explain further. The Asian model, what they did that time when they decided to compete with Europe and America was that they identified potential talents and potential businessmen and funded their projects like Daewoo, Hyundai, Samsung in Korea, for instance. They made conscious efforts to support them by giving them loans. And the loans, what they did was that if Mr. Honorable Kwaku Kwarteng decides to build this building, they will ask for the cost of the raw materials and where he's going to get the raw materials from. The government then sends the money to the company manufacturing the raw materials. And they will give you a couple of months. If you tell them the imports or your raw materials or whatever equipment you're going to use will arrive in 3 months. In 3 months, the following week, 3 months, 1 week, we are there to inspect if indeed you receive the equipment. Now, what they do is that the government partners the individual, the private sector. So they will win themselves off when you finish paying the loan. Then it becomes your business. And in business, the most difficult part is the capital. So if government supports you to get the capital and you run it well, you become a millionaire. This is how they've been able to expand their businesses. India, Dubai, all the Asian, that is how the model they use. And I think because Ghana, we don't have capital for our businesses. Set up businesses, initially they are very tough. They lack finance.
So that is Kennedy Akompre Agyapong explaining the Asian model or the Asian miracle at Ekoso. And trust me, I think it really makes sense, because you need to be in Tubam and could do America level. We need to start somewhere, because Asia, Singapore, China, Dubai, they were once at the pedestal and they were once at the tip, of development. They were not far many Africans so be in team. But then fast track, they were able to know a model to use to be on par with Europe and America. And now Singapore, Malaysia, Dubai. Gani ni bia tu kan holidays at Dubai. Mba FO nana mekoye no nyenye aha. Dubai was a desert. Na obe Nkrumah MPP NDC ene obi ye boni e china na yakwa protest ni jano sa. Anyways, Agyapong also was recently at a summit. Now, a bizarre question. One student asked a very smart, sensible question. And Ken's response definitely has really triggered nerves in a positive way. In the video,
thank you very much for answering the question. My aim of becoming the president and also what I'll do for the youth, the answer is simple. As businessmen, I've come to realize that the youth are not given opportunities. When you talk of youth employment, all those agencies are not going to assure the future of the youth unless the government creates enabling environment, smooth business, so that the youth will take advantage of it. Here, the youth is over-dependent on government for their survival, and no youth depending on the government alone can survive or be a rich or successful person. You have to take your destiny into your own hands and make sure that you take advantage of what is going on and move ahead. Don't wait until the government gives you assistance. So what I'm also going to do is very challenging for the youth to have startup capitals. We shall make sure we give startup capitals to the talented youth who want to venture into business.
So that is a Kennedy Akompre Agyapong now, or explaining some of his visions he has. Now, in all, no, in some way, of course, no, definitely, no, everyone is looking. How are the fans? How are the people viewing Agyapong? Well, at this particular summit, I can call and OP and it's a month for B3aten. Yenshe video babaka. We continue with the whole issue. Okay, so that was exactly what was really going on. Now, straight up, we gave you an update about Manhyia or screens. So, yes, you can see, say, Bonopa, Amanim na swaswa. Why? Because of in some Okokanya, a fa Otumfour, or say to Ebra, or Moshembra, say, Mo Obibiara, and yet then ember out. during a specific time. Na Asante Hema ne yie no intimi ye ne kama. Now me no ka say the family members of this particular Abranti no ma ba be kasa. And then we are learning say Abranti ni sebio Sebu na ji munya papa because you see no threats no eba family no so one sha onam one obi abe wo sekan because Sebu akodidi Otumfour atem na nipa na okodidi Otumfour atem no say enye wo but isan say oye wo boyfriend na say oye wo busuani no na say omakoka amana ye den abeka me no ka say the family members omakwa akopa acho e wo nananom insa no but before then no omode press release bi aba mo pa say Abrantie no omode nako ankafo anase akra beka se pantan ye hwe na adwin se onye papa ye hwe na adwin no according to family members no Abrantie no he is not a correct person adwin na nye adwuma but then regardless no omukopie mu ewo nananom enanse ye hwe video because the video is in two halves ebra na Asante Hema Bako or reprimand omo and another video too is there na ebusuafo no mukotodwe egufem ye be playing na I think back to back and I say you play we be back na kwhwe be hwe video ye be back ye beto
sankanye ne bet pigine na kuro bi enti wonu ane ba ne kuro fo beti ba bi ye fa ni say o mu wura tem anya bia ne twafo so ma ne ba so ye de men e wa ha wokoko na dinadi enti o meti mi ahwe enti ade tira bi bia ehufua we ya ni akachawo na mo me de ni beka sama ba be yi ma no na mo na nyame asio sami mi ba ya ni kapa na me sadi ka because mi sabe de ka so ka so bi o ye mi sa de no na me wo anfie wo kro na de ma wo ye na de ma na me wa tia fie ta ma wo de ko breme enti sami mi ba ya ni kapa na me sa edi kan no a e capture sasa de ko para nkaye si wo bia me ame kire mo kasa de ko para ka why na mo ka kire no sako pra mo afani so beto bi so asa so pa ni so dia saba e beju na no e na wayale abodan fo ahe de kuta 100 fo ya be pesa bi kusa mo bushia fo wo dia wo fa ya no wo se aye na wo sa dia aye na wo sa ha yo careful pia ma fe video ni bia ne mo fa video ba e bi se ne mo fa dia o se o ha no o ha ro aba mo o fa off no we do bia ni na tabo e bo ni masam no o fa off we do bia ni na tabo santi ni ku a na wo ni na tabo ade na mo yesa ma sa be ka so ko ya wapa titi bia mo ya ade e wi ade akwa be ni e de ahye asasi wura udi ye no asandi udi na ye kra asandi fo ekra na adi atam kra nyanya ya se ye de ya ye na so tutuma ye de bia na asasi wura we mu ni nyansa kwatra ka akwam wanti bia kwatra ka akwam o ukọ ofo wa kwatra ka akwam na obi ya ade de apẹ ba bi ne ya sesa ne ya sesa.
Inti according to ebusuafo na Abrantie no off on inti si ane de bibi ade ne du no ebusuafo no say ya ne ye dehye ba Abrantie no abodam and Asante Hema na ebisa say no Abrantie na abodam but ne dam ne buy in fact question obisa kwa meni je won say abodam fo ahe ene ku use 100 phone say bi o mi ba studio a mi hu bebrede bia enye omo fault but unfortunately ye hu omo da kwan ho ne ade bi mutimi kasa be mi hu bodamfo bia o use 100 phone e wa TikTok e hu se ne ye posti hey mutie ni ye ebusuafo ne se Abrantie no abodam. Anyways, there's another video too here. Ne busuafo no omo bunkoteju omo patch because bibia edu no. Bibia ensem ne du no in Grace Ash's voice. I just nyankopon obem. Because I don't know, I am critical. So in this particular video, you see the family members kneeling down. I am so sad because yakoka amanaye de abeka omo. Una mu baby din o dwen wo ho na kwasie bi asebi o busue mu a onpebre no akoka amana beka. Awo. Yen kwa share this particular video involve ya ba e beto aso. It's here for no. We the mama cash tower lenyumbi street crown on my head. Patu aswabe. I'm staying. I know. Anyways, ebusuafo na party say enye se ebiom person mu di asante hene no omo ne ho fell. Because almost a branch in our border man, they have evidence. Because people were asking, say, prove it. Inti me no kasi o ma send me evidence. Yen found two screens so. So here no party say a medical checkup of a branch in question. Na o share a clinic na we a Otumfour polyclinic. And na osi to whom it may concern. And na asiye no a medical reports. So first of all, a branch in Dino because some neighbor family member they are to massa. I was so be your muano. Na obi e de before abeshiw fie, obi de before akote baby the sick jaw. You have to protect yourself. People can do things for Otumfour in the name of protecting or making sure Otumfour ni Dino obia enye de enye ne ho fi. Inti a branch in Dino or see patient's name. Mustafa Suleiman, and we are learning say this particular Mustafa Abrante now Udis Aboneno and no cancer say friend Mustafa Suleiman. Okay, and now omode a hospital number so you can call to actually know. And I say LIMS number, a number, patient's identification number, and omode age near 29 years or a male, date of first attendance 13 September 2024. The person said last year September. And a branch and a damn no esha sise eba. Last visit 22nd August 2025. A week before Becca Science Sebno, we decan that is Otumfour polyclinic. Yari ben a yeno. Shahasi diagnosis mental and behavioral disorder due to multiple substance abuse. It's therefore Abranti in the born in this saying at the local hospital last year. That was the first attendance. This year, last month, August 2025, it's also the local hospital. Now, at the local, in all of these two instances, your diagnosis, a doctor, check checking the share, and you say Abranti, or mental disorder, or some sort of behavioral, disorder. And then, of course, is it genetics? Is it a natural phenomena? A accident and now be due to substance abuse. Bronica's a substance abuser, or she or yet drugs, or for cocaine, or for tramadol, or for red, or no min sabroso, or injecting him with if anything, all the kind of drugs are and that is what he does. Inti or nom sana na asante hini sesebi or a mouse. Mouse to kasa boom boom. Yan trust was the above patients visited our facility psychiatric unit on that said date with physiological complaints with his relatives. Sa Abranti and now the family members. Okay, yan kosro. Sa Abranti, the family members omo pache say doctor ne party say the patient na kan ho say Mustafa Suleiman no. Nebusuafo e de ne ba Otumfour polyclinic. na omu complain na so mama ne some pass abrantie no sebio or physiological complaints, a dream, psychology, physiological, and it's not able to complaining. Say he's been managed and currently on monthly psychotic injectables and tablets. Patient's current condition is on a relapse state. Is in a relapse state. Into a part say currently the patient ye treating. Okay, into no dear ya sa as a bodam ne man be tiefin ni so no. And they say, you have a man in draw, and every month biano, or be back for a year injection, any tablet, a be reduce it, a be calming it down, send a be on failure for drugs. Aside from that, to your party say, patient currently he's in a relapse. Relapse, no a party say, a bra, ye saw ya so what bodam near saw ya rea. Ain't me copper into a qua na ba into a period like oh they say oh yeah what you say no problem. Almost also try to say I will therefore recommend the authorities consent to consider his condition and assist with the necessary treatment needed. Your cooperation is very much appreciated. And the party say mo amukwachi Mustafa Suleiman no so did you Otumfour something here atem no enya the fault debi into Twene Jonas unye yes Twene Jonas yeah. Sana abranti ya diagnosed with physiological your friend is saying complaints no Twene Jonas may be having the same issue. Yes, perhaps intino omu patch say abranti na dream hano intini esramwa sana Ghana yembra no etie say at the end of the day no obi edi bone na ye hwe na dream ni ehu say nipa na we di bone na dream hana anas na adwen emu hana yenku no. In fact untimi kura mfa ne court into unam na bodam for their shooting kum. I remember a story last year circle na obi enam bridge na na bodam for no hu na bodam for no to epupo kese sambo na ye de to omo ye kwan na da ho no ono to fa bi fis no de or to ye na hwe papa ni tie peche papa ni tim na pa no em say maame no na maame ni wu no papa na papa ni wu ye. That video is there ye kwache maame no na maame no onimpo de ekoso a foolish case because na adwen emu nye nti onim de oye, so you can't judge a person as if you onim de oye. So what man say ane into know this is exactly what is really going on. But regardless yen ko share the video again of timer Nebusuafour no omo pacho ye babaka. We have a news about His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Bibi Koso in the United States of America.
Sankanye ne beti pigine na Nkrumah. Enti wanu ane bani kure fometi ga kodi. Your friend is saying, R.I.P. Agyapong ni twafo so o ma ne behye ye de men. E wa ha. Wo kokko na gina ni. Enti o meti mi ahwe. Enti ade tira bi bia ehwefua. Wo ye ya ne apachew. Na mo me de ni beka. Sama ba be yi mo. Na mo na nyame asio. Samimi banya ni kapa na me sadi ka because me sabe ka so ka so bi oh ye me hwesa ade no na me wo anfie wo kro na dwuma wo ye na dwuma na me wa tia fie ta ma wo ni ko brebe eti samimi banya ni kapa na me nsa edi kan no a e capture sasa de ko para nka ye si wo bia me kire mo kasa de ko para ka why na mo ka kire no Sako from Feliso Beto, so funny for their Saba, eventually. Now, wayale. I want that why he put out 100 feet. The person because I'm what would you find? I was say, I don't know how you careful. My video only be a of a video by inside of India, or say, or about or where you be in a table, I want to make some low. Of where you be in a temper, now we did not. I don't know where some. What's our castle? Ya what to me away here? The real Yapabe, near the Ashe. Assassin would the end was said, we get Niagara and the favorite idea at the branch. Say it, yeah, that's what to my idea. That's a single. Well, One million sang for track aquam. One million for track aquam. Offer one for track aquam. Now, will be a society.
Therefore, so that is the issue. I was here. I just said, me no say, you know, Ubia Ekan Wasem. Everyone is reacting to this in various ways or shape or form. Once again, your life into a server person or drop your comment. I beat me read amount right here on this particular platform. Into beat me drop your comment if you have any commenter or person your kind emawa. We'll be very much happy to do that. But before then, no, we want you to, your friend is saying, just subscribe and also no, yes, sir, just drop your comments. Comments via will be no, you be read the amount. So that is actually what is really going on. We are moving on to the United States of America. We need the Amano Semitia. Now, no. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama US. Na Mahama pa video a video or ye peke yen che to share Mahama ni Secret Service. Mahama Secret Service e yo mode man enya asem ketwa eno mudidi ne chinsa broni no share left and right with oban obe punch enya agro kra no mudi. So B3aten ben Mahama Secret Service ayeden etwa ne ho ehia. Now in aid of all of these things and in same way ekoso no we have a crucial update because Mahama is making big moves in the United States of America. Again, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Mahama call Nansiya no akosia the CEO of Rockefeller. Wasanso akosia French for omo president Emmanuel Macron. Now, French for President Okushio, there's a curve to it. I'll explain because people are angry. Say Mahama Okushia Sapapa. Remember, Sapapa, you know, he's one of the reasons there's instability. El Koso, Burkina Faso. But Mahama has a reason for doing that. Until before then, he share a bit of this particular snippet of what really did happen. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Okoya Yeman Secret Service protection in the United States of America. We also have an update of how Trump met with dignitaries like French President Emmanuel Macron and also Rockefeller CEO. In fact, so we need the social media. Chelbe say Mahama projected Nasdaq. Yen show video we back a bit to us.
Excuse me. What are you guys listening?
So yeah, that is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Now, I'll share the whole screen so this a post that Mahama make here just some few hours ago, and just about 48 hours, that's almost a day or so ago. I say, good meeting with Dr. Rajiv J. Shah from the Rockefeller Foundation ahead of my side event on Accra Reset, Reimagining Global Governance on Health and Development later today. So Mahama is meeting with billionaires. He's trying to cause them to invest in the country. Now, we need the business. It's a Rockefeller Foundation. It's one of the most prestigious foundations. They have the potential to change the economy and also the how Ghana operates. And aside from that too, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he also met with French President Emmanuel Macron. So that is French President Emmanuel Macron and Oshia President John Dramani Mahama. To opposite say, strengthening Ghana-France trade, bilateral and diplomatic relations. Good meeting with President Emmanuel Macron on the sidelines of United Nations General Assembly 80. That's the 80th General Assembly. So that is exactly what is really going on. Now, one of the things you also have to note in all of this is there are people back home or more companies say Mahama is not really doing anything because your party say there are problems in what country. This particular problems in this country. No, it is really crippling from the cost of living to galamsey issue and even how Ghana say we voted but we are not really not seeing anything. In the end of this, Kevin Abrantier Taylor. And also, because also US or party say nobody should even think of petitioning the US government say Mahama SA Krone because all the problems that will Krone It was started under the Mahama's regime. Akufo-Addo's regime. And Mahama can use 8 months to change everything Akufo-Addo has done in 8 years. In short video, here back here better as
See, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, nipa 110 as ministers. 110. Kwasi Ampenyi, Obaye no Obeye, Regions 16. And Osayi ministers 110. And a Ghana focus say, Adeng. Ministers 110. Ekura team, 30 million pe. Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo response or the Ghana phone. And Kwasi Afuna Mudi Omochi.
President Akufo-Addo has once again justified his appointment of 110 ministers, adding that the vital thing is having the capacity to deliver on the promises made to better the lot of Ghanaians. The president said this in a response to a question about the effect of the size of the government on the national purse.
I'm not worried about the size of government because I think that, first of all, the majority, the overwhelming majority of the people in the government are members of parliament who are already on the public exchequer. I think something like 2/3 or almost 3/5 of the appointees are all members of parliament, so that the incidence of their becoming ministers on the public exchequer is minimal from what it is already as members of parliament. And secondly, the really important thing is your capacity to get hold of the machinery and deliver. So at the end of the day, at the end of the 4 years, people of this country will wake up or feel a significant improvement in their lives. There are more jobs available. People are getting better wages. The cost of living is something that is within the reach of ordinary people. I don't think they're going to worry themselves too much about the size of my government.
Odi akwa we to John Mahama ho a. I say na wabodam. Excuse me, see tie reasons dia all ma. Yes wa be nipa 110 or so. Ebe me dwuma buso. Nipa be nye dwuma ye sika be bank of botom. If you say the ministers ne do so be ye dwuma. We Jimmy. Ye tena de we hu for 80 years. Mu ye dede ben. Me say adie bia NDC aban dealing with today o say a problem no. It was a problem that was left behind by NPP aban. Intinke ye kan enisan kan normal bia free NPP kra complaining about anything in Ghana. If you see anybody sit on TV or radio discussing this is a problem, say you are foolish. And that problem you are talking about, who created them? The problem you are talking about today, Munam Ghana TV, Sunu Radio, so say galamsey. Who created galamsey in Ghana? Who made galamsey attractive? Who actually commissioned galamsey? Anytime I can just say the NPP as a political party, no more Jimmy. They are very effective in opposition because that is how they were made. They are made to lie. I am part of them. I know how they operate. This is a party. They are not willing to accept anything apart from almost selfish gains. That's all. When you hear them talk, don't pay attention to them. Me pedipa ba kuna bajina TV so I can say, oh, problem with the NPP ye jano hona ban we and yes of solve it problem bang. Problem ben na Ghana sisia NPP nkwasiafo we jato wa aban we by we yineni. Chemi one problem. Inti right now no mankasa jatum say they have created problems. They left huge burden on Ghanaians. And they are insisting say within 8 months NDC are buying and solve a problem. These are the kind of animals we want to govern with. These are kind of cockroaches. These are the termites we want to reason with. We are not supposed to reason with them. We are supposed to ignore them. Because you see, the NPP as a political party, no, they don't understand what is reasoning. Nana Dankwe Kufuado, eyi nipa 110 as ministers. 110. Kwasi Ampenyi, Obaye no Obeye, Regions 16. And Osayi ministers 110. And a Ghana forecast say, Adeng. Ministerians. And they are insisting, say, within 8 months, and this year by and solve a problem. Operate. This is sit on TV or radio discussing this is a problem. This is a problem. Ushedi Panamka say you are foolish. And that problem you are talking about, who created them? The problem you are talking about today. Munam Ghana TV Sunu radio so say galamsey. Who created galamsey in Ghana? Who made galamsey attractive? Who actually commissioned galamsey? And anytime I just say the NPP as a political party, no more Jimmy. They are very effective in opposition because that is how they were made. They are made to lie. I am part of them. I know how they operate. This is a party. They are not willing to accept anything apart from almost selfish gains. That's all. When you hear them talk, don't pay attention to them. Me penipa ba kuna bajina TV so I can say, oh, problem with the MPP ye jano hona ban way and yes of solve it problem bang. Problem ben na Ghana sisia MPP nkwasiafo we jato wa aban we by we yinini. Tell me one problem. Inti right now no mankasa jatum say they have created problems. They left huge burden on Ghanaians. And they are insisting say within 8 months and this year by and solve a problem. These are the kind of animals we want to govern with. These are kind of cockroaches. These are the termites we want to reason with. We are not supposed to reason with them. We are supposed to ignore them. Because you see, the NPP as a political party.
Okay, so that is Kevin Taylor. Now, let's move on to this particular update. Lady Yahoo video on the screen, she's definitely beautiful. But unfortunately, she is dead. It didn't different here, Abena Jane. So, on TikTok, these videos started trending. And people were asking, so what really is going on? Why is she trending? And apparently we got to know this lady involved, your friend Abena Jane. Now Abena Jane, we are learning currently but I can't fast any barbecue because there's even a video some people are more or barbecue. For the starters, no lady or your nurse or your Ghanaian nurse or so a posted or TikTok near the other. But apparently we are learning she died in an accident at Cape Coast Accra Highway so. Now we are also learning this particular unfortunate death a shocking because now we a friend is saying now you are not graduating pictures I will show on the screen so you realize and a video I'll show on the screen you realize at a point in time there's a mamele or graduate kama what you say to say bimo pa say or be wedding cranny at the simpi but then your parents accidentally see or Accra Cape Coast highway see net say okay one of the 5 victims or movie think of 5 in the wu in that particular accident happen here wakrum a ben yamrase 2 weeks ago, just 10 days ago, that's Monday, September 15, 2025, and I lead or share name. But I mean, say, a month B3aten started a posty video, I almost share because lady no much to me, and say, so sad. She's a very good person. I just say, or graduate and or Babe Wario said, then all of these things are happening. But then, in all of these things are there's a video about Bekaya. This particular video is detailing what one person apparently, obeying a year, sister, a friend, a year, Abena Jane, not old chichi, what really happened, because I'm for person who, why not con and chain? He found a ufi. These are questions and I'm for beside to say Lydia Wakushana Quincy and people definitely want answers. And the young question because Trouble Carlos and a buy one the Kanchima Bako or let's say friend Ekasai or changing him how all of these things even came in the first place and even should we blame someone? What is going on? These are big questions. Not to say amount to be bread a essential video about back a bit to us.
Obedience.
What person no work and all these
hey
say
Abrante ya waka say Ninua ba and Interbetel Hospital e Cape Coast omekuno no Muntie story no
police case
Emma
police for every nua back say omo chief area no nti omra kra na ombe solve assembly
e kwa nua ne fa so di wu ye no o chechire mu ba no muntie
Monday ena ofa aka say oba Accra.
Oh, abo we sinimu.
Ofa aka no ofifre 8:00 a.m.
8:00.
Eno kuju takwado ho no.
O yenzimani tinekasa ni amumpade no.
Carlos. Ofa aka no koju ekro bi a omofro no Yamwansa. A free and Yamwansa to Cape Coast a 30 minutes journey. Inti driver no a horn so sharp cave you a sharp cave. Into driver no far the car no or take no car no ye overtaking.
Yes.
You overtaking no or ye no whom say car kesi bi enam kwame ba.
Or doje
na na just o fi kwan mu.
Akusengura ni mu.
Na maka no atwam akọ. Car kesi no so driver no so na adwun so no so e fi kwan mu. E ho na kunhia baaye.
Kaish.
Akonhia e ba kese pa nti nkofo mo kam nyina dodo na ewu flat.
Obi ewu atwan so.
Flat. Kofu se 8 omo flat.
Wow.
Omo I'm sorry. But na kamenua.
Unua na survive ye.
Unua na nisiso. E ma mo rush to me, mo rush me nua yi eko Interbetel Hospital.
Interbetel Hospital.
Na
Interbetel Hospital. Monsa no adwuma na eba no muntie.
Mo rush ko Interbetel Hospital wo Cape Coast no. Interbetel for ejimi nua no eto baby mo reject me nua yi. Omo anhwe no. Sometimes no so ne yente information bi asa me nua nya azent. Enti anche biara na dema obi frɛ obi emma yeti news ni say me nua akonya ka akonhia enti
challenge asam no
ekoho no.
Oh, me chesa me re kra ho.
Say as that no AC 1 to 2 a. Me nua da ho. Mama ne mpa.
Hey,
da ho no.
Interbetel Hospital.
Antenin to me nua no. Omo ko bisa ya omo se omo hia abusuafo
ragati asamaba eye wei nesa me kwakasa eye Interbetel Hospital a omo Cape Coast ena omakum abayewa no a mekoka ombeka se trouble adenti na wokasa ena eni kwaso okasa sa na enyomu ne kun no. You see, this is very sad. Very, very, very sad. Samobeka ya time R.I.P Echo Hospital ho koye nye kire no. Me make a statement be say. Ade R.I.P koye ye no me support ne pa, but the way of doing it no ena mani anje ho. But you see, sometimes you kwan na say anka wodan ya wo say ekwan we de ejene. Just put yourself in this girl family shoes. Say eye wunua ba ena when your accident, ena umuna kwa to hospital. Ena umu ayi womania manwa mana daho no ma be over 3 to 4 hours. Se ebusuya formra. Nesu wua. How are you going to feel? Chale are very sad. Na dia koko ba yeni. On the 15/09/2025, this month this year you wumu ye. Ena abaya ye friend Abena Jennifer. Ni din otwaso ne short journey nurse ni na aban amana djuma say omra kra no omra meye djuma but o man kasa no omo ene omabusuafo nyina omo yenzimafo ntinzima no mote enti abuna jani ebetue sika edema efiewura bi ewa akra se opedan na efiewura no ekokodi sika no nenti chese wo se abuna jani ebeye police case eme ebeche eye efiewura no eno baba ye police case no eno ja eto ho no mo na police fo no etimi kwachi efiewura no eno mo friend say efiewura no ya che no enti no bra na yenye da yen kan asem no eno eja abnaje ni ebu ni ketemu around 8 o'clock according to ne brother no frifie 8 o'clock eno frifie eye 15th say oba Accra na waba behwese nsa bedai ebeka ne sika no akwa hide foforo enti according to nebra no okokofa car no ewo Cape Coast se oba Accra na ekwan so ye frɛ baabi ya wansa minim se din no me pronounce it right ya wansa ewo kwan so baabi na sharp shaft na sharp whatever it is careful bi ewo ho no mo Ena obi eyi overtaking. Enti kano mumutimu no. Eko pie some big car bi so at once. Kaya de mu hu no picture no mu no. Oko pie so at once. Ena ne yemo se ni to no nim so de kwa ko se nwura nim. Na nka car na fa kwa na soko. Ena car kese no so say o de ko se nwura nim. Sister yon fa me bucket wani. Eno mu nyino mu ko hia wo nwura nim. Car ne ko hia ye no. Yaso ye ntonton kwa na wo cross car na chese wo bewu. O chese omo gu car nim nyina at once obi ewu ye. Enipo otimi survive ye abaye ye friend abena Jennifer. Eye nurse ya yedena akwakoto akra ye twi na di okwakope ni sika. Eye wakwakosia no nkwansi ono pe ene survive ye. Omu yi ni free car nim no. Yeso otimu se scratch ba akokora ni ne ho. Ba akokora sei eni ne ho. But ebi mutia te ebi mo nso na tete bi ma peche. But ono de Oba Africa in my life like very sound. Now the way so na car na sisi ye no. Say unya doctor kra na se wujina honoma you can tell say again obetimanya internal bleeding. Enom de ne call hospital. Nti honomo enom de ne call Interbetel Hospital e wo Cape Coast. Now imagine ofrifie be 8 and a car no so no according to source no in your accident around 11-12 mu honomo eno kokodru hospital honomo ebusuafo no kokodru honomo ebe 5 o'clock still na Interbetel Hospital omu endani wo mani fa nkonkohwe abaya no adaya ye penebusuafo ye peni weighing card ye peni Christmas card afedie omu chese yesi abaya no woto ho mukọ ye wadwojo waye mre afei omote se sa ono so ye nurse no afei no mo rase yemfa ne mfa ha yenye ni se because omohu se yo modia afei ne yankotwo mo ntrodro mo nkoto we mra munye se mra sa baya ne to ho no wawu e no to ho hospital bed kra no yemfa na ntu bi so obi e wakwakonya accident ye de na ba car no kra ye kire mo se onipa wo mu nyina ewu no hospital no omaji omani ama baya no e na baya ne to ho Charlie, it is very sad. Say me this story be say ya. Na ama ase Ghana kokora no ayeme den. Because accident die obi ani ho no mo a obon pa say accident emra mama metu obi. Accident it me to obi at any time. Now imagine when your accident you do akwa do hospital because of say enipa enimuntu no guess what ye ye niama tena se empa kra na wo se nipa da so kra no ya ma obi amoma tena ho no mo ama abayo abusuafo abọ no ho kasei wo wu wezu so no enko ba bia o enko ba bia because ana Ghana tie sa Interbetel Hospital so whatever that they call their name no. Se wo Cape Coast and make culture say wo yare yamfo ani nto so because udi agro mbeku ato atwene said wo musi eku ge no udi agro omu beku ato atwene said wo musi eku ge no chale after this video wo me YouTube channel no so a ensem na ne nuane kai no ono ankasa no masem ni nyina ye dey etato e very sad may her soul rest in peace what oh chale she beautiful girl say just na who offending to cry just asemesa
Etifo, this is a very sad issue. The BIAT na has any can't same way ya. Among for so propaganda. If you've been following me on this particular platform for the past 10 years, or let's say from 2017 till now, almost 8 or 9 years, no, I've told you say me buying hospital. Why? Because a buying hospital be called na nurse need to or ye TikTok. A buying hospital no any priority. Car na ye do fit taxi mu ye do call hospital na ye fit taxi mu a ye dim say okay we fie ni bi. Now so car ni be si one 4x4 any ye ho hare. They judge people based on what they bring and as a car would dem oba. They treat you based on where you come from. Any the nurses don't give a hoot about human beings. Nemom omoko SHS they pick the easier course home econs. So ye home econs are biology, cooking, food and nutrition. Yeah, they are I'm not dissing those or more home econs. They are legitimate people. They do home econs because they want to. But others take the easy road. Some people meet media run nursing. Run nursing not because they want to do nursing, but because it creates an nursing and already employment. So a police for 80%. A nurse for 80%, a doctor for 80%. They are not there because they love what they do. They are there because of the money. Money is a good factor, but then also develop a team and a passion for what you do. This is a nurse. They be a nurses. They are treating Nkrumah. Now no a year akwe kwa kan ye ewo regi. Mosi ye nchen wabo nurse or the adia kwa chichene sasi ye bu ni nsem. Won say ne. O yonko nurse onya accident yan trambo and mama saw a nurse nti won see kuno. Nice beautiful girl. Shane hu fe. Nice beautiful girl. She's dead all because accident no the nurses were doing this stupid thing. Kwaye weighing card bra kwaye say bra nipa na we wu a ni name pu a oda ho a e wo se ma ni CPR no onkwa hemfa na onkwaye weighing card. How adwen na dan Nkrumah tribunal. I don't know Ghana for. And we are learning this particular accident in Nkrumah 5 in the way and they are saying say the nurse no or survive ye into no hospital and no damage mu da ho. After you cried ye card ni we see enko free ni busia form bra. This is stupid. It's here for please nipa na we nya accident and the 9 in the body bubu a moje nyino no. Oh, how can the person call the family members? Bro. Ena HCI omu ye omusa ye free adamfo ena adamfo bi free obi ena ye saka ebusuafo ne free ya ye free ebusuafo no omo ba ya fa de nurses for to say say nipa na o yare a we nya accident oda ho no. O ye nurse ni ho no pam ni pagya no. Ye man drip yen ni say ebusuafo ne be do hospital na sister yewu wewu you see your phone sana wa hwa wodie and a confoboni a osi ekru ne be bono esay a otimubi. It's what unfortunately said this nurse is dead, but then it should be a warning to you nurses for mumbushi money apem for any patients ekasa say be a piece of ejanan ene osu konya accident na bibi to a na won say uniform no ana say o tag na eni unchan a ye do call hospital bie ni because o yare now down na o de o timi ya ajay obi mboa mi untimi nka se me ye nurse ni. And this lady is dead. You saw baby why we use pictures ni videos ni be na social media e bi na wo hwe no. So I so sad say this thing have definitely happened. Into no so sad. Me we say Babi Atro or say do unto others the things you want others to do unto you. Ati I say and it's not all about NDC near there. But straight up no. Ye movie enko in some for so because definitely you best about live view. This particular Manhyia uhunu on the screens though. Yes. He's trending on social media. Now you should know him, but if you don't know him, Mr. Wa share picture now on the side of the screens, no. A former MP. I don't know if a former MP for Nkrumah, but Osha a Kwame Nkrumah neba Samia Nkrumah. Aha, into Samia Nkrumah and Osha screens no so on the far left ni die a Wudimaya. Hey, Wudimaya aye dark and what's white tea. What him? Aha. What did I say? A numbers and quite odd number, but regardless, I grow can meet. Iti Samia Nkrumah on also the side no obia say half cast said ding neba we are learning send the bano no. So the bano happened to be the grandson of Kwame Nkrumah. Now we are on the birthday and on the eve of Kwame Nkrumah's birthday, you know, and it say omo ye ni memorial. Iti memorial no omo ye no, and abranti and your mo ye no na yaka Kwame Nkrumah lives on near bo and now abranti ye team freedom papa no jani team freedom also team freedom. Yenshe video the Babaka. We have a special update on this too because for the first time we are getting a glimpse of the graveyard of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Yebeko ni akoshe exactly what is really happening. But then this particular few seconds video, no, are trendy on social media, and we want you to take a look at it because it is a Kwame Nkrumah neba bema pa ne grandson, ne grandson, and it say, oh yeah, in fact, across social media, the ladies are falling in love with him. Apart from sa branti and the fenom or sound so a bit me a take Kwame Nkrumah. Your friend said, "Nine, said that Chibiano, unino peso be politics, it can happen." It's for young share what really went on. Your babaka, we will move on to the next updates on this particular Kwame Nkrumah.
1 minute in the spirit of freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom. Freedom. Freedom. Freedom. 1 minute in the spirit of freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom. Freedom. Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom. Freedom. That's Kwame Nkrumah's grandson. Wow. Kwame Nkrumah, Kwame Nkrumah, Alonga, Jikani. You can sit down now. Bamia boy, son, Yama, Wamakamo, Alakoya, Drazra, Nenya Kwame Nkrumah, Yalonga, Taji, Yumoja, direct, Yumashi.
Now, for those of us who are alive today, luckily alive, we know that without freedom, we are nothing. But freedom comes with a price, and that's the price of sacrifice. That is why Desalegn could say, freedom or death. Today we hear Traore in the AES saying, homeland or death. And it's broader, it's Africa or death. And that is what Nkrumah is about. So whenever we come here, we are here to renew who we are, what we are, and where we should be going as Africans. You can't have freedom if you are afraid. Nobody keeps freedom from you. As Nkrumah would say, you take it and you keep it with vigilance. And that is why in 1957 he says, we are awake and we shall sleep no more. Unfortunately.
So that was the most interesting thing of course in regards to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Now in this same vein to Otumfour kupim on the day Kwame Nkrumah I just say the birthday, you know, and there's a teacher on ground. I just say oh my the current happenings, because for the first time personally me call her that Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum no call her, and I just say you share the current state of Kwame Nkrumah's grave, how Rollins say ADR 1979 yewura Kwame Nkrumah ebuye no opushi ya ema yede remains eba Ghana. It is all captured in this particular video. Video back, we will definitely continue this particular update.
So he said, for Ghana alone to gain its independence is of no use unless the total freedom of the African continent. So after Nkrumah gained independence for Ghana, he was fighting for the freedom of all Africans. But this man wasn't allowed or wasn't able to achieve that. So he got married to an Egyptian lady called Fatia Helen Rest. Nkrumah and Fatia's marriage was a contract one. It was an arranged marriage. Nkrumah and Fatia didn't know each other. But after they met, they loved each other. Before he got married to this Egyptian lady, Nkrumah gave birth with a different woman to his first son, Francis. Francis died last year at the age of 89. That lady was called Fanny Henrietta Miller, a dual citizen, half British, half Ghanaian. Nkrumah and Fanny never married. So when his wedded wife, the Egyptian lady Fatia, was alive, this woman was good to the extent that a cloth was made in her name called Fatia Fata Nkrumah, meaning Fatia deserves Nkrumah. She lived for 35 years after Nkrumah's demise. She didn't take any man after him. So she made a request that she wanted to be buried close to her husband. Her wish was granted. She was brought all the way from Egypt to come and be very close to the husband behind you. So behind you is the graveyard of Fatia's wife, Fatia. So those of here, we have a vandalized statue or a broken statue of a sergeant for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The statue you see here used to be a complete one, mounted at the old Parliament House just across the street. So when the 1966 coup was ongoing, we learned Nkrumah wasn't in Ghana at that time. So this angry mob, I mean the police and the military, decided to attack the statue just to demonstrate to Nkrumah that if he was to be in Ghana when the coup was ongoing, how we see the broken statue here is what they would have done to him. So a patriotic person, someone who loved Nkrumah's party, picked up the head when the coup was ongoing. This person kept the head for 43 good years. The person returned the head to the park in the year 2009. But to this person, he or she doesn't want to be known. So as we speak, the person is anonymous and we don't have any information about the person. So that's the history behind the broken statue you see here. Also, we have a tunnel that talks about Nkrumah's life. So before we walk out from this tunnel, you have fair knowledge or understanding about how his life came about. But in the pictures and videos are not allowed. Exactly. So let's hide our phones and proceed.
So yeah, that is it. You could see Sir Kwame Nkrumah, he still lives on. I think for in some way it just tells us Kwame Nkrumah is the only person and as an ideology in Timabwa and then MPP NDC will be a dear. I won't say that these two political parties are really bad. They are trying a work in progress. So one day they will get there. But then this is exactly what is really going on. Titi for any demobisi will come your way once again, I think 9 p.m. First Lady Lordina, former First Lady Madame Rebecca Kufu. Send the arrest list be brel. You updated ene. We've updated it. If Ora will work, Akufu nebusu phone be abeko jail. Anyways, 9 o'clock p.m. Me the updates no ebe bro. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.